This Sunday, WWE is putting on a PLE live from Paris. This is the first one from Paris, obviously the second one from France in WWE's history. Even back in the day when they did those like UK exclusives, they never did things from Paris. They were always London or Manchester and Birmingham and all that. But more importantly, for a lot of fans of the United States, this will be the last PLE on Peacock from WWE. We had that discussion in length before. The NXT shows are going to stay on Peacock for the time being. So if you're a WWE fan and you don't know how to find things in different ways, I'll just say then you're stuck having Peacock and Netflix and ESPN to watch all the WWE programming. Because NXT is going to be on Peacock, as well as we've learned Saturday night's main events are going to be exclusively on Peacock. And I wonder if that's also kind of an answer to the whole WWE screwing them by saying, hey, we're leaving early. Well, they're saying, fine, we're going to move this to Peacock then and make people still have to pay for Peacock in some way, shape, or form. They're not getting out of Peacock that early. We still have a deal with you. So that could be an answer. But this weekend, it's Clash in Paris. Keeping up with the Clash series, right? We've seen Clash at the Castle, Clash at the Castle again in Scotland. Now we have Clash in Paris. Rumors were originally it was going to be like a 7-match card, maybe even 8 matches. Those rumors were all squashed. It's a 5-match card like we're used to. One match that is not on this event that we were expecting after Evolution, and that was Stephanie Vaquer, who won the big battle royal at Evolution to earn her shot against Naomi. Well, Naomi's title has been vacated, and they haven't figured out what to do with it in enough time to make it on this card. So we only have one women's match on this card. Another notable omission, right, is Cody Rhodes, the biggest and hottest thing, the face of the company, if you will, right? He's currently not. Well, he currently is a champion. I was going to say he's not champion. He is a champion, but he's not on this card. So you kind of feel bad a little bit for, the people in Paris. This is a stadium show, 30,000 plus people. No Cody Rhodes. He's, I think, in Australia filming a Street Fighter movie. But either way, I imagine, right, you'd think when you have an event where you're expecting a huge crowd like a SummerSlam or WrestleMania, it's coming to your town.
Don't they expecting like 30 to 40,000 people for this?
They are expecting. They've already sold 30,000 seats. But he's not on the card. The big matches on this card, well, we'll go through them right now. We're going to start right with Becky Lynch and Nikki Bella. We talked about it a little in our Raw situation based on the little rivalry going on between the two. Nikki Bella getting back in the ring. She's going for the WWE Women's Intercontinental Championship. Nikki Bella, she is not old. She's old, I guess, in women's wrestling terms. But she is only 41 years old, which is strange because that's only 3 years older than Becky Lynch. Seems like, she's from a bygone era, but she's not. She's only 3 years older than Becky Lynch.
Isn't that wild?
Do you see Nikki Bella, who was inducted into the WWE Hall of Fame many years ago? Do you see her in her return match? You see this to be a legitimate return? Are they going to put in a belt on Nikki Bella?
I'm going to say this just to see what happens with the whole Becky Lynch situation with the Ozzy thing. I'm going to say they're going to punish her and drop and have Nikki take the belt.
I think right now Becky Lynch's heel run, and unfortunately, while WWE seems to be, embarrassed by the whole situation, which she said on Monday Night Raw, overall, I think her heel run's been good. I think she's been doing what she needs to do. I like her new theme song. I have to say,
I think Lyra cost her.
I'm torn. It's not so much Becky Lynch winning or losing. It's is Nikki Bella going to get a championship? I guess, it depends on what Nikki Bella's plans are. Are Nikki Bella's plans to kind of be making the towns after this show's over?
It seems like she
is. Is this a real return kind of thing? Is this just a one-off?
I think it is. I think she caught that bug again. Obviously sometimes people take time off. I mean, she did have a son, not, in the last few years. So obviously Naomi's going to be dealing with that, obviously, going forward. So that's why, we don't see the women's championship match on the card. So I think Nikki was doing other opportunities, and then, things happen in life, and, maybe she wants to make this a nice run. Maybe this could be a short-term thing, but I feel like she's going to make a legitimate run. And I wouldn't be surprised that Lyra gets involved somewhere. I just don't know why. I think Lyra could cost Becky because obviously Lyra can't challenge for the title because, until Becky loses. So what better way to get back in the Intercontinental title picture than to cost Nikki or to help Nikki Bella win the match by costing Becky the victory? I think that could happen.
A good one-on-one match. Big time names in this one. The tribal chief, the original tribal chief, Tribal Chief 1, whatever you want to call him in his current moniker, Roman Reigns against the Tribal Thief, who's currently wearing the Shula Fala, Bronson Reed with Paul Heyman, another Paul Heyman guy. This should be a good, hard hitting match. I see Roman Reigns winning this match. But either way, I think it should be. It's one of those big Haas versus Haas kind of guys. A lot of meat in there between these two. I see Roman Reigns in front of the crowd as the face winning this match. What do you say?
Yeah, I think so too. And I wouldn't be surprised because obviously we have Braun Breaker not on the card. Braun Breaker could
Yeah.
get himself involved in this match where it looks like Roman's going to lose, and then he kicks out, and then Roman goes on a tear at the end and wins the match. So I agree. I think Roman Reigns is going to win the match.
All right, moving quickly along. A all European feel, I guess. I mean, Rusev. I don't know. I guess he's from Europe. I guess you would say too. I don't know
Yeah, he's
all
like
the
he's
countries.
like Eastern Europe.
Yeah, okay, they're East. Yeah, exactly. Eastern Europe. You got Sheamus, right? He's from Ireland. We know where he's from. Sheamus, Rusev, a good old fashioned Donnybrook, aka street fight, no holds barred, no rules kind of match. I think this is going to be good. I think they've been really hyping this matchup, not so much on Monday Night Raw, but in the vignettes on Monday Night Raw. It's weird because these are two guys that they go 6 months without being on a pay-per-view period, and you wonder if they're still in the company. And here they are on this card. Do you think this is a specific match that was kind of saved for the European audience?
I think so. I really do. I believe so because obviously Rusev and Sheamus have their ties to Europe, and and it's funny. It covers like Western Europe and Eastern Europe, so it covers both. I don't want to say coastlines, but both ends of Europe, so to speak. And you know what? I think these guys in their real life really good friends. Like they're very good friends outside of the ring. So and here's the thing: sometimes your best matches are with people you're the closest with, and these guys are going to tear it down. This could be the match of the night because there's going to be some very cool spots I think in here, and I think it's time for Rusev to get the push. I think Rusev's going to win the match.
Moving on to the Fatal 4-Way. I find this very interesting because of the fact that it's been a long time with WWE having these 5-match cards and everything feeling like a big-time main event and every event feeling like it's trying to be hyped up like a Mania somewhat, where it's all like a title fight situation. We haven't had things like we saw a lot during the Attitude Era recently, and that is like things like multi-man championship matches, right? Multi-man and tag team for sure, but like a Fatal 4-Way, that was always like a staple of like an Unforgiven or a Judgment Day or a Backlash back in the day. Even WrestleMania 2000, they go in on the theme, the Fatal 4-Way match for the championship. Since then, it's been one-on-one matches. It's Cody versus John. It's Cody versus Logan. It's John versus Logan. A lot of these Roman versus Jay, Roman versus Cody. So a fatal 4-way match, and I think what's fun about this is we haven't had one in a couple years. That I can't even remember the last time since we've had a fatal 4-way match for a champion for the World Heavyweight or the WWE Championship on a pay-per-view like this. Big time names. It's obviously all about the whole situation of who's going to get along with who, like you see in a triple threat. Seth Rollins is champion, CM Punk, Jey Uso, and LA Knight from not even on the SummerSlam card to in this match. Who's leaving with the championship? Is this an easy answer? Is it Seth Rollins?
Yeah, no doubt, no doubt.
Is it Seth Rollins now is it because it's multi-man and too much going on kind of thing?
Yeah, there's going to be some shenanigans in this match where you just laid it out. There's three guys in here that they can't keep their hands off each other when they, because CM Punk was trying to be friends with both of the guys, friendly enough, I should say, so they could, protect themselves against the Vision and all that stuff. And none of them wanted it. And every time, and Seth's sitting there outside on the ramp, smirking and laughing because he's watching them unfold and beat the crap out of each other. And that's what's going to happen. I think these three knuckleheads are going to do knucklehead things, and I think Seth Rollins he's going to do his sick, sadistic laugh and go home with the championship.
Now, my question is to you, because before we get to this final match right here, which match main events, the one we were just talking about or the one we're about to talk about, John Cena and Logan Paul?
John Cena, Logan Paul, no doubt about it.
John Cena and Logan Paul main event. So the question is does that have something to do with the finish? Who ends up winning this match, John Cena and Logan Paul?
Yeah, John Cena's he's gonna send the fans home happy with a John Cena victory. I don't see Logan Paul winning this match.
I mean, I do have to say, Logan Paul, he makes up a lot of good points. Obviously, everyone gets on him about being a quote unquote outsider and all this stuff like that. I mean, Logan Paul, people just want to deny it. He is one of the best that are in there right now. He is a full-time guy. He isn't just like Jelly Roll. He isn't like that. And he puts on shows. He puts on matches. He's already been in a match where I thought he legitimately could have beat Roman Reigns for the title in Saudi Arabia. He looked good there. He's looked good in all the stuff that he does. I'm excited to see this match. Obviously, he's a heel because people just, it's one of those things. I guess when do you become, I guess if you were ever a YouTuber, could you like never then become a WWE wrestler? Are you always just going to be looked at like that? Because I feel like even though he's a social media personality, I feel like he's done enough now to be able to co-headline that bill and say he's a YouTuber slash WWE wrestler. Am I wrong here?
No, you're not wrong. I think the outside stuff with him. I think I don't think he's a good person. I'll just be honest, but I think as a performer, I think he's earned. I think he's paid his dues enough where he's been doing this long enough. And let's be honest, he's a quick study. Got to give it to him in that aspect. He's a quick study. He's learned the business pretty well. He cuts a good promo. He does pretty darn good in the ring. So for me, he's not just a celebrity anymore. Like he's part of the WWE family, whether you like it or not. I'm of course not a big fan of his. I just I don't really care for him myself. But obviously,
people don't. He's a heel.
Yeah, yes, he's a heel. But I mean, you take the WWE umbrella off of it. There's some things that he's done in his in his non WWE stuff that I don't really care for. So it'd be hard for me to see him ever as a face because just the kind of person he is. I think he'll be a forever heel in WWE, and I think people need to take that label off of him because there's things that he's done in the ring that people that have been working in the business, whether it's NXT, independent circuit, AEW, and doing it for years, that aren't as good as him. Simple as that. He's a quick learner. I got to give him credit where credit is due. He's a quick study. Kudos to him on that. So yeah, they got to stop doing these outsider thing. Just make him a bad heel and keep going. That's it.
All right. Clash of Paris this weekend, 2 o'clock local time here in the United States. I think 11 a.m. on the West Coast.